So you're flipping PCs and having trouble selling them? I got you, don't worry. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys my 5-step method for making the perfect Facebook Marketplace listing to help you sell your computers on Facebook Marketplace a lot faster. So a couple of weeks ago, we turned this sad excuse of a PC from depressing 10-year-old office PC to gaming computer that can handle most modern titles and sold it in less than a week. Now, what you guys didn't see in that video was me making a listing. This method has helped me sell over 50 computers in the past 6 months and turn $7 into a full-fledged business. Make sure to watch to the end because this 5th tip will literally help you triple the number of people who see your listing. The first step is to take really good pictures. I can't tell you guys how many people rip themselves off because they can't take good pictures and make a good listing. This PC, for example, I paid $650 for it. Came with a nice monitor, keyboard, and mouse as well. It's an RTX 4060 and an i5-13400F with DDR5 in the system. As I said, I paid $650 for this. This is an $1,100 system, and it's all because the guy couldn't take good pictures and make a good listing. The seller missed out on an extra $450 that he could have had. Here's how you're gonna avoid making the exact same mistake. First things first, you're gonna grab some Windex and you are going to clean that PC. Make sure you take the glass panels off before spraying the PC because of course you don't wanna damage any of the sensitive components on the inside. Make sure you get rid of all of the smudges, fingerprints, the whole 9 yards because those are unappealing and will make your pictures look ugly. Next up, you've gotta find a good spot to take your pictures. Now, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. I know that I have my cool YouTuber corner, but before I did that, I literally took all of my pictures on my kitchen table. The important thing is to make sure that it is not cluttered and that it looks tidy. Clutter is gonna make your pictures look messy, and it's a surefire way to deter potential buyers. Now, throw your phone into portrait mode. This is gonna give the background a nice blur and it's gonna make your pictures look really professional. Then snap a few pictures. Make sure to get a couple different angles. I like to start with a front 3/4 shot, then go to a side profile, do a detailed shot focusing on the GPU or the cable extensions. Then I like to do a head-on shot and then a back 3/4 shot. That gives you 5 different angles that do a great job of showing the PC off. Now, with your pictures taken, go into your Photos app and edit the pictures. The secret to doing this is turn the contrast up just a little bit, turn the saturation up just a little bit, and then play with the shadows and the highlights until it looks just right. Adjust whatever other settings you think you need, and then sharpen the picture. Don't overdo it because then it looks all grainy and not particularly great. Now you've got some professional pictures that are sure to attract some buyers. Before we move on to step 2, just a quick reminder that pictures are the most important part of a listing. I can't stress this enough. You won't be able to sell your PC if nobody clicks on your listing, so make sure you get great pictures. Sweet. Now you've got some professional looking pictures, it's time to figure out how to price your build. This is step 2, baby. First off, I want you to figure out how much you'd have to sell the PC for so that you make a minimum of 30% profit on it. Now stick that number in your back pocket, write it down, do not forget it because that is the lowest that you are allowed to sell your PC for. If you're selling it for less, then you're not profiting enough. So keep that as the minimum price that you're gonna sell for and do not go below it. For our build here, the lowest that we can go is $508.32. That is the bare minimum of what we will sell this for. Now that you've got that 30%, it's time to open up Facebook Marketplace and look for some similar computers. Find 3 or 4 PCs that have competitive specs to your computer. Figure out how much they're selling for. Then take the average of those asking prices. For this computer, we're at about $675. So we're gonna undercut that by just a little bit and price it at $650. If we sell it for asking, that'll give us about a 67% profit margin, which is really good. I try and shoot for an average of about 45%, which I found is pretty reasonable and pays the bills, so I'm not gonna complain. If you do this, you're ensuring that your computer is not overpriced and scaring off buyers, and you make sure that it's not underpriced and taking money straight out of your pocket. Now it's time for step 3. Having a bad title is a great way to make sure your listing gets seen by nobody, and that's for 2 reasons. First off, Facebook Marketplace uses the titles for search engine optimization, or SEO, meaning that if your title's bad, you're not gonna show up in search results. And second off, if your title's bad, buyers aren't gonna wanna click on it because along with the price and the pictures, the title is one of the first things that your buyer's gonna see. So you gotta make sure you make a good one. I mean, think about it. Nobody's gonna wanna spend $1,200 on a computer from a guy who listed it as gaming computer. They're just not gonna want to. It's a terrible listing and it feels like they don't care about it. To help you avoid that, you're gonna come up with a creative title that keeps some keywords in it. For this PC, I've decided to list it as budget white gaming and streaming PC with the CPU and GPU listed right after it. This helps make sure that Facebook knows that this is a white budget-oriented gaming and streaming computer with a Ryzen 7, and it helps Facebook know exactly who to push it to. It's also a little bit interesting and gives the buyer just enough information to want to know more, because $650 computer with a Ryzen 7 that can game and stream, yeah, count me in. Now, before we get to step 4, I am going to pause the video real quick and do the typical YouTuber thing and ask you to like and subscribe if you're getting any value out of this content. If you're enjoying it, then comment down below and tell me about some of your personal PC flips, or if you haven't flipped, then tell me about what you're hoping to do with flipping. Now, on to step 4. Great job. Now you've got the buyer's attention and they've clicked on your listing. They're looking at your pictures, they're beautiful, they're professional, the title's nice, and its price is fair. It's lower than the competition, and now they want more info. Where are they gonna go? Is this item available? Well, yeah, unfortunately, that's how most people do it. But for the couple of people who do read the description, I wanna make sure that I put enough information in there that they could message me and say, when can I pick this up, and not need to ask any questions. Sure, that's not how it's gonna go, but you wanna set it up so that it could go that way if the buyer was so inclined. I like to start with a short paragraph, giving a little bit of information on the PC and hyping it up. For this build, I put, looking for a beautiful white gaming and streaming PC with performance to match? Well, look no further. This PC performs great and will work well for years to come. It's got a powerful 8-core Ryzen 7 that's great for multitasking and gaming. It's also got a Radeon RX 6600 XT, which is about equivalent to a 3060 Ti. This runs most games at high settings and will be a great addition to your setup. Keep this little paragraph short, ideally between 50 and 100 words. Next up, give them a specs list. Tell them about what's going on inside the computer. For our CPU, we managed to grab a Ryzen 7 2700X. We paid $40 for it, and it came with a cooler, which we spray painted white. For the Mobo, I grabbed a used X470 motherboard that I found on Facebook Marketplace. I paid $60 for it, and it works great. I would caution you against buying motherboards on Facebook Marketplace because it can be dangerous, it can be broken, but that's all right. This one wasn't, and it's worked great so far, and so I have no reason to believe it'll fail. For the RAM, I found this 16GB kit on Facebook Marketplace for $10. It was a steal, and the white matches the case, so I'm pretty happy with that. For storage, I had this 1TB M.2 SSD lying around. I'm gonna value it at about $30 because that's what I'd pay for them used. For the case, I grabbed this Sama off Newegg. I paid $59.99 for it because it was open box. It came with 3 ARGB fans and has no issues. It is a beautiful case. And just a little pro tip, these things are selling like hotcakes. I bought 4 of this exact same case. All of them were sold out within a week and a half, so definitely worth looking into. For the power supply, I found this Corsair 650 watt. It's semi-modular and it was missing a couple cables, but none of them that we needed for the build, so I'm okay with that. It'll work great for this PC. I also threw a set of white cable extensions at it, and then of course spray painted the graphics card and the CPU cooler. Speaking of the graphics card, this is a Radeon RX 6600 XT that we got for $150 on Facebook Marketplace. But make sure you list the CPU, GPU, RAM, and storage up top because that's the information that people want to figure out first. After that, I like to give them some benchmark results. Games like Apex Legends and Fortnite are free and are played by a ton of people. So if you do some quick testing and get an average and max FPS for them, then you'll be able to give them a good idea of how the PC performs, and you'll be ready to answer any questions that they have about it. I've also found it helpful to include a bank of keywords at the very, very bottom of your description. And to do this, literally just add every word that you can think of that's related to the computer. That'll help it show up in more search results. There's no best format to do this, but personally, I like to say search terms and then separate each of them with a comma. That way, at least it's pretty to look at. The secret to a perfect description, like I hinted at a minute ago, is to make sure that it's short enough that it's not a snooze to read, but that it provides enough information that the buyer could come to you, say, when can I pick it up, without having to ask any other question. And now, list your PC. What's that? You want step 5? Oh, all right, you made it this far, might as well give it to you. Now, one benefit to selling on Facebook Marketplace is that Facebook is a social media. And because of that, there's a lot of groups on Facebook. Your town probably has a computer parts, gaming, buy, sell, trade group. And that is gonna help put your computer in front of a lot more eyeballs. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go onto Facebook and you're going to search for groups. Search up your town name and then PC, buy, sell, trade, and just join all of the relevant groups that you find. If this is your first time doing this, you're gonna go back to your listing and you're gonna click the List in More Places button. If this isn't your first time, there's an option to add groups when you create the listing, but you have to already be in the groups first. Now, as I said a second ago, this is gonna help make sure that your PC is in front of as many sets of eyeballs as possible. So between taking professional pictures, pricing your PC right for your market, coming up with a snazzy title and description, and using groups, I can guarantee that you're gonna sell your PC faster and for more money than you would have had you not followed my 5-step process. Follow the steps and happy selling. If you enjoyed today's video, then consider leaving a like and subscribing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This has been Ryan. I'll catch you next time. Ryan, out.